Today we're again joined by Ali, Ethan, and myself, Daksh. And Ethan, do you want to start us off with your topic, or should I
You,
begin?
you can start. You can
Okay.
start.
So today I want to talk about Pakistan's economic crisis and their energy crisis that has made them, do many things and just to conserve energy. And in a way, it's kind of harming the economy itself. For example, the economic crisis and the energy crisis have forced them to close malls and markets very early. So instead of closing malls at 12 o'clock in the midnight or even at 1 o'clock when they have movies going on in malls, they have to close it at 8:30.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like reducing the retail time for retail stores and leads to lower sales and lower revenue, and thus kind of affects the economy. But they're forced to do this due to their energy crisis because they don't have enough money to sustain the entire energy consumption in Pakistan. Because, I mean, they generate most of their power using imported fossil fuels, and the global energy prices have jumped, last year due to the war in Ukraine and then the pandemic. So all of those things have basically piled on. But one of the most harmful things for them was that they already had dwindling finances and a very bad economy state. For example, in 29 in 2019, yes, Pakistan secured a $6 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund. And that's a lot of money because they basically didn't have enough money and foreign currency to get enough energy and stuff. And this is again one of the other problems that they need foreign currency to buy, let's say, fossil fuels from countries like Europe, from not countries, but from countries in Europe and America. So it's become a very big problem. And recently they uh, wanted another like bailout from the International Monetary Fund, and they got one for $1.1 billion in August last year. And I see this as a big problem, but they're being forced into this, and due to many external factors, as one of the other external factors was the flood in Pakistan, which is very devastating. It had around uh, $40 billion worth of damages. So I feel this is a very big problem for them, especially for a country which is not very dependent as of now due to the low economy and their heavy dependence on foreign countries for energy. So quite
yeah.
a few questions came to my mind as to, like due to the war in Russia, many countries have stopped consuming oil from Russia. Why not use Russia to buy cheaper oil? Because Russia is providing cheaper oil to many countries so that they can sell their oil, all the oil they have, the oil reserves they own, and they can
I
use them
mean,
efficiently.
I mean, Pakistan has been offered long-term gas shipments or hand oil shipments from Russia.
Mm.
So Russia kind of offered them some sort of bailout regarding this.
Yeah,
They Pakistan has also accepted it, and they said that they will start buying it from 2023. But the question is, why didn't they do this earlier?
exactly.
Because now they're in a deeper economic hole that they could have gotten themselves out of if they were able to rush this Russian deal early or later in 2020.
Mhm. Yeah. I think a
Yeah.
little bit of it is because of the government, they have a very unstable government. It keeps
Mm,
changing, the prime ministers, most of them are never able to fully complete their 4-year tenure. They
yeah.
either get impeached or they get arrested sometimes due to some fraud they committed. And recently it happened with the Prime Minister Imran Khan due to some fraud he committed.
Mm,
And but again, as the Russia thing before, right now the new Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, he was very much against supporting Russia due to their practices in the war and stuff in Ukraine.
Mm.
But that like kind of raised another question for me, like how important is it for a slightly dependent country to satisfy Western demands and satisfy the like requests, not even the requests, but the demands from Western states in Europe or America?
I
Because
mean,
they basically said that you should not support Russia, and now everyone's trying to go back. But end of the day, you're an independent nation. You should do what's best for your country. That's what I feel.
yeah. Realistically, nationalist behavior is expected, especially when your country is going to, well, sink.
Mhm.
And if a country wants you to apply what they want you to apply, they should give you something in return. Um, it's similar to that if I want a kid to do something and somebody else wants him to do something that is bad, but then the other guy is offering him a reward. I'm not offering him a reward for doing something that's good. He's never going to learn.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of similar to that. However, the way Western countries have been approaching this is actually kind of weird, since the power is now shifting from the West to the East with the rise of growing economies such as China, such as India, and
Mhm.
also the power shifting from America to countries like Brazil, who are slowly becoming economic superpowers. It's quite weird that a Western country, is trying to hinder and slow this progress down by using war as an excuse for that. We see other countries doing this, like India, for example, and I think that that is very valid. They're not participating in the war; they're just buying cheaper oil for their people.
And the thing is, they're making it clear that they don't agree with the war
Yeah,
and they want diplomacy, between both countries. Like they don't
um,
want the war. They've said
yeah,
it multiple times that the war will lead to nothing. It's best if they try and
talk it out.
agree to some terms. But
Yeah,
I mean, Russia's not being very helpful with that. And it's been very, I mean, it's a tricky situation by both sides,
yeah,
because none of them want to step back.
yeah.
And
However,
diplomacy isn't really an
yeah.
option anymore for Russia or Ukraine.
However, it does make sense for a country to buy cheaper oil for its
Yes,
people.
yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the thing is, many other countries have the same problem in terms of the energy crisis. Like in Germany, the prices have increased so much for heating, electricity, and everything. I like
Yeah,
personal experience. Uh, we saw the bill, our like energy bill, like it used to be about something close, like it's increased like 10 times or something as to what it was before, and we were shocked. So right
I
now
mean,
we've
yeah.
been like using a little less heating and stuff. But I mean,
I've never
even
looked at my bill. I've never
my
looked at the
my
bill.
my my parents
That's
made
for
it
my
clear.
parents.
Yeah, no, they told me because I like always sleep with my fan on the whole night and then like a small light on and then heating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then
I
I
mean,
also had another question. In the
yeah.
West, and some usually like right now it's also beginning in the East that people want to use renewable energy more. But when a country is in such a bad economic state, how viable is it, or is it a good solution using renewable energy as of now? Because one, it is very expensive, and two, there aren't a lot of short-term benefits. It will take a while to build a very efficient and productive plant, let's say solar powered or water power, wind powered, whatever. But it's also necessary for the environment. But how do we strike the balance between renewable energy and fossil fuels?
Um,
I mean, it
I
is a
mean,
tricky question,
yeah.
because even,
However,
yeah,
like with an incomplete infrastructure, which is usually present in these
mhm,
like lower developed countries, you can complete that infrastructure using renewable energy, and then you can end up replacing the other one once your energy costs go down. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
providing energy provides economic strength, and if you provide renewable energy, which is pretty much a lot lower cost, especially for a country like Pakistan, which is more likely to use solar energy due to their like geographical location. They will be able to use this like low-cost energy in the long run in order to develop and continue developing their infrastructure. However, the primary cost for these green fuel alternatives are quite expensive, and it seems like the prices are going down right now because of like the technology developing further. But it's still not cheap enough in order for like these countries to implement it.
Yeah.
It also doesn't provide much energy compared to fossil fuels or nuclear. So the easier option is to just keep buying fossil fuels from Russia if
And
they can.
yeah. And again, some of them aren't reliable. Some are weather dependent. And I mean, whether it's cloudy one day, it's sunny the other day. Probably not
Yep.
in the
I mean,
Asian countries, but you know, if you build a wind energy plant, it's not windy.
No.
It's a bit. I remember it's somewhere they did it in Germany. It's not in Germany, but in Europe somewhere. They built a wind energy plant where it wasn't windy at all, and then they
And then they
realized
didn't get much energy.
exactly. So they had to like
I
take it
mean,
down because there was a lot of cost just maintaining it, and there's not enough energy being like created. But
I mean,
yeah,
at the moment, renewable energy is not there yet to supply Pakistan because I don't think they have the infrastructure to do that or the money to do that.
yeah,
And
I
like you
agree.
said, the governments are very unstable, so they can't really invest reliably into these projects. So I think buying oil from Russia is the best. But again, they should have done it earlier
Yeah.
instead of waiting till this year.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is becoming a giant problem in Pakistan
yeah.
because energy consumption, I think they didn't have enough money to like sustain all the energy demands for a month, you know? So they really had to do something. And now they have set up many laws, as I said before. The shopping malls and markets all markets should be closed by 8:30 local time, and the electricity consumption should also be reduced by 30%. Now that can either support the retailers to reduce their costs because they're being forced to, but it also, I mean, the one of the clearest disadvantages is that it reduces your shop time and probably retail, because I'm assuming people in such countries, especially in India, from my experience in India, people come from office at like 8:30, 9, They are usually in office till 6, 7, and then commuting takes a long time sometimes.
As well as you can probably agree with this on me as well, like culturally in most Eastern countries, nightlife isn't the same as in these European countries.
Yeah.
Well, nightlife is branded as family time, whereas in most Eastern countries it's branded as
Yeah.
outing time
And I'm
for
sure, Ethan, you've also probably seen this in Dubai, and it's when it's in the night where people usually go out to buy stuff, go out to really hang out.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
You
why
would
malls are open till like 2 a.m.
Yeah,
normally, and
exactly.
they're open every single day. So I think Pakistan to close early, it's pretty bad for malls
So it's also
for
a
the
big
culture.
cultural shift, not just socially, like
Yep.
also socially, no, but not just economically, a big cultural shift too. So now they probably
it,
have to fit in a time slot
it
during the
would
day.
also be interesting seeing the propaganda that their government is perpetuating upon like their people in order to make them comply with these new rules. They could be using it as more of like, oh, we're taking a more Western approach to this, or we're
Yeah.
developing as a culture, so we're gonna like be
Imagine
like
the
European. Yeah.
Imagine them
Maybe.
saying like all shops should be closed on Sunday. They'll riot. They're like, it's our main business day. What do you mean? Even
Yeah,
in
so
Dubai, right? Ethan? It was the main day shops would be open, right? Sunday, Saturday,
Mm.
Sunday. Weekends were different,
I
right,
mean,
in
they're open
Dubai?
every day. So Friday or Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday is the weekend. So that's when it's most busy.
But it
And
wasn't nothing like it would be closed one day, all
No,
shops.
it's
Okay.
open every day.
Yeah. And open longer hours probably during the weekend, right? Yeah.
At
They
10 a.m. to like 12 a.m. That kind of thing.
And I mean, in Egypt, it really depends on where you are, but some businesses stay open up till 3 or 4 a.m. even sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
It's pretty.
Those are called clubs.
clubs.
No. It's
Yeah.
like a coffee shop or restaurant that's open till 3 a.m. and you can just go there and eat with your family. It's not really
It's a coffee shop club.
no. Oh my God,
It's a coffee shop, but
anyway.
you get alcohol and there's like dancers in the background. No.
Doesn't exist, but anyway.